decided to just tap in for a moment and give you a little bit more insight on what surviving divorce is all about. See, there were days that I didn't understand any of what I was going through. I didn't understand my relationship and how something that I had once prayed for so hard could just fall apart. I didn't understand myself and who I was outside of what I'd lost. And I didn't even understand God's plan for my life at that particular time. Because to me, it didn't look like nothing that I had ever imagined. So trusting God in that season wasn't quite reflecting confidence. It looked like showing up tired of everything, right? It looked like praying without words. It looked like choosing obedience when clarity was nowhere to be found. It looked like believing God was still present even when he felt silent. Like I wasn't hearing anything. See, surviving divorce reflects the faith that it took to keep going when everything felt uncertain. Surviving divorce is the story of choosing trust over having understanding. I chose surrender over having control. And then I chose healing over bitterness, right? I learned that faith doesn't always come with answers to your questions. Sometimes it comes with endurance. Sometimes it comes with surrender. And sometimes it comes one day at a time, not all at once. So if you're walking through uncertainty right now, I hope this book reminds you that God is still writing your story. He still has the pen in his hand, and it's not over yet. See, healing is possible, and restoration is real. So if you're ready to walk through this journey together, go ahead, head over to Amazon, grab the book. The link is available below, because you got this. We're surviving divorce this year.
What's going on, guys? This is Christian Lewis. I am the new host of What Now? Today we're here. We have a brand new episode with an extremely inspiring and super busy guest, Miss Tamara Washington.
Hello.
So, Miss Tamara, how are you doing today? How are you feeling?
I feel amazing. I'm excited to be here today.
Okay, cool. Now, speaking of busy, man, you've got a lot of things on your plate, right?
I do.
You do. So, first off, let's get into your book, Surviving Divorce.
Yes.
Everyone take a look. It's a brand new author. Now, actually, I'm sorry. Before we get into the book, with you being an educator, an entrepreneur, and just a motivation for the youth, when someone asks you, who is Tamara Washington, how do you respond to that?
That is a great question. I pay my therapist every 2 weeks
Yeah.
to try to figure that out.
Uh-huh.
So when I get it, I'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. I'm the same way. I probably need a therapist. So next, let's see. The book, Surviving Divorce. It's such a bold topic to talk about. Many women have trouble experiencing it or just, venting about it. At what moment in your life or at what moment in this situation did you say, I need to write this book?
Well, I had a couple of people come to me asking for advice from me about divorce. And I had no clue what to tell them because I didn't feel that I was an expert on divorce. It's a painful topic. I would never recommend someone to get a divorce. That's not my place. And so I prayed about it, and I have tons of books. I collect books. And so I'm looking through my bookshelf, maybe there's a book I can give them that will help them through this journey. And there was nothing. And then I went on Amazon and I'm like, okay, God, what book? And I didn't find anything because I don't know what's being said in the book.
Right.
And then I prayed about it and God was like, oh no, that's your next project. And I'm like,
You got to do it yourself.
Yes. And so I remembered that what helped me was a culmination of advice from different friends.
Okay.
And my sisters just being there and supporting me. And so this book is kind of like a chicken noodle soup style. And it's not just my story. It's advice. I wanted it to be like advice from sisters. We're sitting down, we're drinking tea. Let's talk about this.
Right. That's pretty good. It's profound because, everyone's situation is different. So it's good to have different perspectives. Now, the title itself, Surviving Divorce, how do you define that word surviving? What does that mean to you?
So Surviving is overcoming, because a lot of times people think divorce is it. That's the end. Like, I've failed. But that's not necessarily what it is. You can overcome this part of your life. You can close that chapter and move on to the next. Right. And it can be even bigger and better. Right. It's not defeat. It doesn't have to be. So you can survive this part of your life.
Okay. That's a pretty amazing way to, define surviving. Let's talk about that a little bit more. We're going to go to break and we'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
Hey friends and family, Martel here, reaching out to share something deeply important to me, Young Creatives Association, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering youth through the arts. We're on a mission to provide creative opportunities, mentorships, and resources to young artists, and we need your help to make that happen. We're proud to share that we've recently partnered with the Best Buys Foundation's Teen Tech Centers, giving us an opportunity to bring creative tech workshops and hands-on learning experiences directly to youth. But to truly maximize this partnership and expand our reach, we need support from our community. If you'd like to support or learn more, feel free to reach out to me directly or any of our board members, or visit our website at youngcreativessassociation.org. Thank you so much for your love and support. Every 20 counts and every connection matters.
Welcome back, guys, to our episode of What Now? We are here with Tamara Washington, and we're discussing her book, Surviving Divorce. Now, my first question is, how did you feel about divorce when you were going through it versus how do you feel about it now?
Oh, that's a great question. So I'm a PK, a preacher's kid. So in the church, divorce was frowned upon. Okay. So when I got married, our thing that we said was divorce was never an option. So in my head, I couldn't get divorced. I needed to do whatever I needed to do to try to make the marriage work. Okay. But that takes two. So I stayed. I prayed. I went to the altar. I did all the things that, the church kind of tells you to do. And there's a chapter in my book that talks about this. But there was stuff that the church, I feel like, didn't tell me. So besides doing all those things, there was other stuff that needed to take place, and I wasn't in the marriage by myself. Right. So I later realized that the divorce kind of hypothetically took place well before the divorce took place. Okay. So it was hurtful. It was a long grieving process. It feels like death, to be honest. And then as I worked my way through the 5 stages of grief, just like any other death, I was okay. I had to learn my new normal. Okay. I had to figure out what life would look like without a husband at that point in time. Now, how do I feel about it? I mean, I'm not going to say I mastered it, but I'm still working through it, and I'm still figuring out who I am and what life will look like and the possibilities moving forward. Okay,
cool. Now, you kind of touched on this next question in that response. Now, being a PK, as you said, is, you already look at divorce as a bad thing. And just like many other women, they feel shame about being divorced. Now, how do you address that feeling in your book?
There's actually a chapter that addresses shame directly. And I liken it to the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Because it feels like you're this small person experiencing all these big feelings and everybody can see it. It's like you live in a glass house. But it's okay. I'm not by myself. There's so many people that have gone through a divorce. And it's not that I promote it, but if it's not what God has called it to be in the beginning, then you're probably not where you're supposed to be. Okay. It's not going to work out. I can't change anyone. You can't change anyone. And it takes 2 people to make it work. Right. So once you make up in your mind that this is not the place that I'm supposed to be, you have to do what's best for you.
Okay. Now, one of the themes in your book is, focusing on the emotional side rather than the legal side. Now, why was that distinction so important to you?
Because as a woman, again, we deal with shame. We deal with the feeling of failure. We deal with all of the residual feelings of you lose friends, you lose family, you lose yourself.
Right.
Because in this marriage, you were wife, you were bae, you were honey,
Right.
your mom, you're all these other titles. And then you go back to being, in my case, Tamara.
Mm-hmm.
And as you asked me in the beginning, who is Tamara? We're still trying to figure this out.
Right,
we show up every day trying to figure this out.
Right.
So it's very important to ensure that you return to who you were pre-marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not an easy task to do. So I also, in my book, strongly promote getting a therapist.
Okay.
Because it takes, yes, my faith in God, but it took a very strong therapist and a lot of copays to make sure I was okay.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Kent Ojon, founder and executive director of the Black Maricopa Chamber of Commerce. Our mission is to create and grow economic opportunities for Black businesses in the city of Maricopa in the state of Arizona. Since Maricopa is one of the fastest growing cities in the state of Arizona, we feel that the BMCC is a cornerstone of that specific growth and the opportunities that come with that. From networking partnerships and access to capital and financial independence, we aren't just building businesses, we are closing the wealth gap and driving innovation throughout all of Arizona. We recently celebrated the spirit of our community of the Maricopa Desert Music and Arts Festival. Please visit our website at www.blackmaricopacc.com to learn more about us and to join the BMCC. I also want to thank the City of Maricopa for allowing us to film from this beautiful library and cultural center.
Okay, welcome back again, guys. We are here with Miss Washington, and we're going to continue discussing her book, Surviving Divorce. Now, another question I have for you is, so now we've touched on divorce and almost in a controlled setting or an ethical setting. Now, what would you tell to a woman who is thinking of or in a divorce that is violent? How would you say that they should approach that?
I will start by saying I am not a professional. However, it is important that however you decide to exit, that you have a strategy, that you have a plan, and that you do it safely. I wouldn't put myself in danger. That's very, very important. And if there's children involved, please plan strategically. Make sure that you have a support system. Make sure that the local authorities are involved and they know what's going on. You cannot be ashamed to file a report, to let people know. A lot of times when it's violence or abuse, we try to cover it up, right? You want to put on makeup, you want to put on the sunglasses. No, so talk to somebody so they understand I need to leave. And then get your crew together, get your team together, and develop your exit strategy and go. Make sure that you employ the proper safeguards so that you don't go back as well. So whatever that might look like, if it's getting a restraining order, if it's moving and everything being anonymous, whatever you need to do to keep you and your family safe.
Right.
And then get a therapist. Get a therapist, please.
And I'm glad we touched on that topic of it being violent because, as you know, it can affect the way, with you being an educator, it can affect the way you show up for, the children or the youth that you're in front of every day. And that's pretty much my next question. How does your personal journey and what you went through during divorce, how did that affect the way that you show up for the youth?
So with my personal journey, it made me show up more authentic for the students that I serve, for the population that I serve, because the reality is going to work every day or waking up every day, putting on this mask, this super suit that everything is okay, and then going out and doing life and then coming back to reality, I'm being fake.
Right.
I can't show up authentically. And so with that being said, everybody gets tired of that, especially yourself. You can only show up and not be you for so long before you start showing. My grandfather used to say, a zebra will always show its stripes. So your situation will begin to come out. That argument, that fight that you had is going to affect you at work. And then it carries throughout the day. And then next thing you know, you have a parent calling you saying, hey, you said this snide comment to my child, and I didn't even mean it like that, but it started the night before with whatever happened at home. So being able to show up authentically, my pure self, when I go to work and when I'm presenting myself to others, was very important to me. So that's how it affects me every day.
Okay, cool. And so we're gonna kind of shift back towards your bigger purpose, so to speak, and how you affect the youth. Now, I know that you have built programs for aspiring authors. What do you say to a young aspiring girl who wants to, who has dreams of becoming an author? What do you say to that girl who's actually watched you publish your book?
Write. I say write. Don't stop writing. There's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you can't achieve. A lot of the issue is us. We stop. We get scared. We don't do what it is we want to do because we feel that we can't, and we start to shrink back. So if you want to be an author, write. And then find someone to read it and publish it. Publishing is free. You can publish it free. So once you write, call me. Go to my website, dreamscanlive.org. I will get you going. But just write, start.
Got you. And I kind of to touch on that a little bit. I know journaling is a big thing with
yes,
with
very much
just,
so.
I want to say women in general. I know a lot of women journal, diary, so to speak. What would you say about journaling? Did you, in your experience, just journal everything that happened while you were going through it, or was it more of you kind of summarizing what happened afterwards?
I did. I am a journaler, so yes, I journal a lot. However, my books have not come from my journaling.
Okay.
My books come from reflection
Right.
and feelings. Every book that I've written was a feeling that I had.
Right.
I'm very sensorial in that manner. So, but I strongly promote journaling.
Right. That's just something for you, right?
Yes.
Right, especially as a writer. Yep. Okay. So now, what would you say you want the woman who is going through divorce or thinking of it? What would you want them to feel when they close that last page of Surviving Divorce?
So, the way the book is set up, I have my story is first, and then there's 5 other stories in the book from different women. And then the last story, it says that it's actually addressed to you. It says your story. So that's where your story goes.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically us encouraging you to do what it is that you need to do. Make sure that you're examining yourself. Make sure that you're ready for this. Make sure don't divorce because other people are telling you to divorce, because it's a lot of naysayers. They'll tell you, girl, let me tell you, this got to be your choice. Make sure this is something that you want to do, and then start writing your story, because your story is a survival story as well. You just haven't made it there yet.
Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, now with you being an author or a writer, you journal, beyond divorce, what's next for you? What chapter are you in the Tamara Washington story?
Well, I never know. So I am in the process of writing another book. I don't know how long this one is going to take. It just happens. And right now I'm just working on continuing to develop my nonprofit organization and continuing to rediscover me.
Okay. Can you give us a hint? Is it fiction? Is it nonfiction? We talked about fiction earlier.
We did. So actually my first book, The Dreamcatcher, was directed towards women. And I've been asked to make it more towards teens. So I'm trying to make like a graphic novel.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, that is it for this episode. I'm so glad we got to discuss Ms. Tamara Washington's book, Surviving Divorce, and we're looking forward to hearing more from her and what she has in store for us in the future. Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, so allow me to clarify something really, really quickly. If you're looking for a book that is going to bash your ex or bash someone who you claim to have loved at one point in time, this one right here is not it. This is 2026, and we do not have time for that. We don't have the capacity to carry around the heavy baggage of hating folks this year. Say it with me, we ain't hating nobody. This book here is about you. It's about your growth, your accountability, your healing, your development, your overcoming, and your surviving. See, this journey requires honesty, it requires some courage and the willingness to look inward instead of pointing outward at other folks. Healing doesn't happen by reliving the past. It only happens when you reclaim your power. So here's the real question. Are you ready to look in the mirror? If you are, then let's go on this journey together. We are surviving divorce this year, okay? Surviving Divorce, available on Amazon. Get your copy.